What's going on, YouTube? So today I'm going to talk about EPIC certifications and shed some light on some very basic but common questions about them. And I'm going to do that by talking about four main things in this video. One, what exactly is an EPIC certification? Two, what does EPIC certification entail? Three, some of the differences in the completion status. And four, how do you get an EPIC certification? So with that being said, let's go. So the first main thing is basically, what is an EPIC certification? EPIC certification and why it's so important is if you decide to work at an EPIC institution and you plan on building, you basically are required to have an EPIC certification, which is why it's so important. So for the second thing, what do these certifications entail? Basically, they're made up of four parts, I would kind of think of. The first thing is like the content. They teach you the clinical area or whatever area that content's about. So that's just core material. Then there's also like various homework sections where you do homework. Sometimes you submit it, sometimes you don't. Then the two big things about any certification is the exams and the projects. So the exams are usually proctored. I believe all of them are proctored actually. They're proctored exams that you take and you score, yada yada. Sometimes it's nerve-wracking. But the exams, those are important. Make sure you study for those. And then there are projects. And the projects are pretty cool. You basically build like a demo system. So like for pharmacy, you build like your own hospital, your own pharmacy, your meds, and you build and configure the dispensing logic and all these kind of things. So it's pretty cool. But that's the main thing a certification entails. And of course, they're all different, depends on the module. Just to give you an example. So for the Willow Inpatient, it's made up of 4 parts. And then you go to class in EPIC for an entire week 3 times, so it's like 3 weeks of courses. In contrast, infection control is just 1 day. However, there's a prerequisite where you have to get like one of the core clinical modules, certifications in one of those core modules before you can even take that. So every module is different, basically. Now for the third thing, there's 2 different completion statuses. One is proficiency and one is certification. It's kind of confusing because we're using the term EPIC certification. However, when you do certification training in any of these are the 2 certification statuses, or completion statuses, proficiency or certification. It's a big question about what the differences are. So I'm going to go over 4 key differences. The first difference is basically the grading. Grading is lower for proficiency, and the grading requirements are higher for the certification status. So remember what I said about the projects and the exams. Basically, the minimum requirement for proficiency status is a 70% in your exams and your projects. However, the cumulative score must be greater than 75% in all of the projects and exams. Sometimes there's multiple. So the cumulative score must be higher than 75. And for certification status, you must score at a minimum 80% on all of the individual components, so like an exam or project, and the cumulative score must be greater than 85%. So that's one of the key differences between the 2. The other thing is attending class. So for proficiency status, you actually don't have to attend class, which is pretty cool because you can just rack up all these EPIC certifications and they look great on your resume. That's what I did basically. So that's something that's great to do. That's something you should take advantage of. For certifications, you have to attend class. And attending class means you gotta fly out there and go there and sit through long classes. They have an excellent campus, by the way, so if you've never attended class, you definitely should. But that's one of the key differences between the 2. Another thing is consulting. If you ever are considering consulting in informatics for an EPIC institution, you can't be proficient. You can only attain certification status, so something to keep in mind. And one of the last things I'll say is not every module has a proficiency or certification status. Certain modules that are more difficult or more dangerous in the sense that it might break the system for whatever reason, they only offer certification. So basically they want to make sure you go to class, learn what you gotta learn, make sure you don't break anything in the system. So that's an example. So just to give you an example, one of these is Chronicles Install Utilities. I have a computer programming background, so I was very interested in taking this. So I actually did the course on my own. I was working on proficiency status, and I signed up for the test, and all of a sudden they're like, nope, you can't take the test, you never went to class. And I was like, what's going on? And they basically gave me that rationale. So I was kind of disappointed, but it's still cool. I learned some great things. So for the last thing, how do you get Epic certified? So there's mainly only two ways. The first way is if you get hired into an institution that's actually doing a implementation. And there's actually not that many of those. I was just having a conversation with my colleagues the other day, and basically the market in the US is kind of dwindling down for Epic institutions. Many of the organizations already have gone through implementation, so these like massive hirings are probably going to dwindle down quite a bit, especially after it was like 2 or 3 days ago now that the VA went to Cerner. So the Cerner side might have a lot more opportunities in contrast. But to add on to that, we were talking about how countries outside the US have better opportunities for Epic, especially in areas in Europe. They have a Netherlands area, some areas in the UK are opening up hospitals with Epic. So just something to keep in mind. But otherwise, that's one way of getting Epic certified. You get hired into an institution and you basically have them sponsor you to go take the courses and the training. You can also, if you work for an institution that has Epic, you can probably try and tackle proficiency on your own, since all you need to do is basically work through the material and take the exam and projects at your own pace. So that's one thing. The other thing is you actually work directly for Epic. So that's kind of the only two ways to get Epic certified, so something to consider. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Do let me know if you have any questions. I myself have a couple, so I can probably speak to a couple questions that you guys might have. I have Willow Inpatient. I did the graduate course for Willow. I have Clinical Decision Support, which they're actually retiring. They broke it down into 3 badges. Badges is out of scope for this video, but it's similar to certification. I have Reporting Workbench, and I have Infection Control. So I have 5 certifications, and I am certified in 3 of them and proficient in the other 2. Alright, in any case, hit me up if you guys have questions. Definitely do leave me comments. Keep the questions coming. I get a lot from you. I just have been really busy lately. Our go live is in 30 days. Alright guys, until next time. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and watching the video. If you like the content, definitely hit the Impro RX button over to your left to subscribe, and definitely check out more videos over here to your right. Now, as always, if you have questions, comments, and even better, suggestions for future videos, definitely let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, until next time guys,